human society cannot be rationally understood until it is seen for what it is. A series of farms where human farmers own human livestock. This human farming has been the most profitable and destructive occupation throughout history.
Ideas spread, they can't stop them. An idea whose time has come cannot be stopped by any army or any government.
We're not a bunch of underachievers. We're going to stand up and we're going to be human beings. We're going to get fired up about the real things, the things that matter. Creativity and the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit.
Our nation is drifting dangerously from freedom to fascism. So I have to ask, is it time?
And as always, it is time. Apparently, time to be blizzarded in for about the 5th time in one season. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is the Big Plantation, brought to you by FPRN Radio Live, coming at you from Pennsylvania, where we are preparing for yet another complete ice-capade winter wonderland. It's not wonderful at all anymore, though. I'm pretty sure we're all sick of it. As always, I'm here with Moses Flows and Jamie
Nestled
Martin.
In the Appalachians, hollering back at you, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Not looking forward to this at all.
Fuck snow.
Embrace
Seriously.
the snow, Jamie Marr. How are you?
Fucking
If I see one more bit of plastic fall from the sky, I swear to God.
Well, we don't have time to talk about plastic snow tonight. It's a very special show here on Big Plantation. We got a very, very special birthday boy turning 37 years old today, and he's coming on the air with us. Why don't you talk about that a little bit there, Mike?
Well, yeah, we're going to have former co-host Keith Smith coming on. Some of you may have seen he had a video that's kind of going viral on liveleak.com where he was pulled over for a less than valid reason, I would say. I don't want to, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but actually I believe we got the audio up.
Are you ready to do that already?
What's that?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's hit it, man. That was a really inspirational moment. I can't wait to
Shit's got like
about it.
60,000 views.
Yeah, it's going viral, man.
People know about it.
I like to think I was one of the first to know about it.
Well, I mean, apparently, like I said, I don't want to spoil it. It's so ridiculous that I don't want to spoil it. Do we have that up?
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Is there an issue?
Yeah, I can't read your license plate. It's completely obscured.
Why?
I don't know. It's from the third.
From
I
dirt?
can't read it from a reasonable distance. All right, do you
All
have
right.
license, registration, proof, insurance?
You want me to go wipe it off?
No, I need your license, registration, proof, insurance.
Did I commit a crime?
Yes, you did.
What did I do?
Your license plate is obscured.
Subscribed.
My license plate is obscured
Yes.
from this road right here that's dirty.
Okay, I need your license, registration, proof, insurance.
Oh, God, shoot you in your face because
and this is a
your license
crime.
plate subscribed.
So I am being pulled over because my license plate is dirty. I have a dirty license plate because here in Pennsylvania there's salt everywhere and there's
Pissed off.
snow. It's 8 degrees outside, and this guy right behind me here has nothing better else to do but waste my time. Waste my freaking time. It's ridiculous.
This is great,
Edited for his
especially if you
child
know
purpose.
Keith. Because he's
No,
dead.
but you know what? You got to sympathize with him because I feel like this every time I see the
not
goddamn
just
lights
scaring
behind
the
me
crap out of me, but scaring the crap out of my son. That's what they do. Thugs with guns on the side of the road, pulling people over for no reason because I got salt on my license plate.
Amen.
I got salt on my license plate. I go to a movie with my son. Got salt on my license plate. I get pulled over.
That's awesome.
This isn't America. This isn't the America I want to live in.
All right, that's good. Thanks.
Freaking jackbooted thugs.
So
I want to just add that just for my
no, I'm not
conversation
even
with
sure
Keith,
if he actually
after
got
this.
a ticket for this or what. I guess we could ask him.
No, he
But-
didn't. He got nothing. In fact, we can get him to give a better description, but I know that the supervisor of the cop who pulled him over came over, wouldn't give him an actual apology, but kind of made excuses for his cop and
Well, of course. I mean, they make excuses when they kill people. You know.
We got Keith here. Let's hear his take on it.
Well, hold on. Before we even intro, we all got to say happy birthday. Keith, happy birthday. Former co-host of Big Plantation, owner of Mount Blocks, which you can talk a little bit about that if you want.
And you can do it better than Mike, who has carrots in his mouth, apparently.
Yeah, I know, right?
Carrots? No, I
chewing on live air, dude.
You sound like Bugs Bunny.
And
someone was trying to take this shit seriously.
Well-known dissident Keith. What's up?
Welcome, Keith Smith. How are you? Happy birthday.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me, and yeah, thanks for the birthday wishes.
37, right?
37.
No, 31.
I know. I said 37 to piss you off. I don't know if you caught it earlier. 31, man.
So Keith, give us the play-by-play, because it's going viral on Live Leak. Now, I don't know if it's just a cultural difference in the people who are on Live Leak as opposed to are on YouTube, but you got a lot of freaking haters on Live Leak who are just pretty much arbitrarily supportive of the cops and not really understanding that it's pretty ridiculous to be pulled over for having dirt on or salt or whatever on your license plate. Well, give us your take.
Well, absolutely, and it's causing quite a controversy, and that's exactly why I took the video, is because it should cause a controversy. There should be people from both sides that are very angry about it. I mean, the one side, people are upset because you can't just drive around, mind your own business without getting pulled over. And the other side is upset because, hey, I could have a dirty bomb in the back of my dirty license plate vehicle. And I should be pulled over because people like me could be terrorists. And it's a damn shame, because this is the country we live in.
Wait.
And I don't even feel comfortable talking to him right now.
Can you clarify that for me? Like, are people actually saying that because you have a dirty van that you could have a dirty bomb? Because that's pretty funny.
Yes, that is one of the comments I came across.
No.
So, yes. Now, the Live Leak, the reason Live Leak is different than YouTube, and there's also the fact that this video is being put up on Police One. It's a website, and a lot of cops, like at forums and stuff, they've established a base of support since the creation of Cop Block, and to kind of combat Cop Block and cop blockers out there and people that videotape the policemen and their families make sure to go comment on videos like this, and so that's what we're seeing. And unfortunately, the cop block community hasn't come out in full force yet, for my video. And I'm sure that'll, be soon enough. The more, it gets played, it seems to be going pretty viral.
If they would have tried to sprinkle some crack on you, I think cop block would have been all over it. But just, hey, Keith, can you give a better explanation? Because I kind of butchered it because I didn't get it firsthand. I was typing to you. But what exactly took place after the video?
Well, I'll start from the beginning. I take my son out to the movies, father and son time. It's my birthday weekend.
What movie? We got to know what movie.
We leave.
What was it? Lego?
Oh, we went to. No. we went to see Son of God.
Nice.
So.
Amen. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue
it's pretty brutal, All right, so we're driving home, just doing the speed limit, not breaking any laws, doing nothing suspicious whatsoever. And I noticed as we're passing the Upper Yukon police station, there's a police van there. And I said to my son, I was like, oh, look, he's looking for a reason right now to pull me over for no reason whatsoever. So he pulls out behind me, speeds up right on my rear end. Now, he had the plan to pull out before I even pulled up through there. And pulls up behind me, and he's riding on my rear end. Now, I'm like, okay, well, either he's in a rush to go somewhere, or I'm about to get pulled over. So I say to my son, I'm like, it looks like this police officer, and I refer to all police officers as little piggies. I said, it looks like this little piggy is looking to pull me over. And my son's like, why? I was like, I don't know. Maybe I have a parking ticket from 10 years ago that has accrued interest on it, and they're going to arrest me for a warrant. So he's right on my rear end. I'm finally like, okay, you know what? I'm pulling over. So I pull over, and then he pulls over, pulls up behind me, and puts his lights on. And I was like, what did I tell you, kiddo? I was like, here I am, minding my own business, is driving along, and they're pulling me over. Let's see what they have to say. so then that's where you see the video where they come up.
He looks
and they
very
ask
nervous, by the way, the police
registration.
officer pulled you over.
Oh, well, he was very nervous. I know that there's a little blip on the radar everywhere I go. And, you know, I get followed by police. I get pulled over by police in the weirdest places where police they're not normally there. And so I know that they're laying for me. And so that's what, you know, he walked up, and then once he saw the camera, he was, you know, caught off guard. I guess because he already had his plan that the dirty license plate was what he was going to run with. He just didn't realize that he'd forever be known as the cop that pulled people over for dirty license plates. So
the thing that gets me on this is, like, isn't having a dirty license plate like a... Sorry, isn't having a dirty license plate like a secondary offense? Like, I just don't get how somebody can... Because you didn't commit a crime to begin with.
Yeah, you can't be pulled over for that. I don't even think you could be cited. I don't think there's anything on the books that says you could get a citation for that.
I mean, I'm sure there is.
I think to be technical, I don't think it would be for having a dirty license plate. Like if you if you taped a cardboard box to your license plate or something like that, you could get pulled over for that. Right, but that's
not what's going on here. I mean, any of us could be pulled over for a dirty license plate right now.
Well, yeah, we live in USSA.
Exactly.
That's not news.
So,
we can get pulled over
I'm
for
driving on a road that has deteriorated because the infrastructure. It's basically a dirt road now. It's the worst potholes of any road I've ever seen in my life. So there's puddles and everything. I'm driving on this road when I get pulled over. So I mud on my vehicle on the way there, you know, and it's not even mud. It's salt. It's salt water. It's from driving on the road. I'm not off-roading. I'm just, you know, average commute. And so he asked for license, registration, everything. I give him the go around. Is this a crime? Am I being detained? Whatnot? He takes my paperwork back, and I just start flipping out in the car. And neighbors are coming out of their houses, looking over, and, you know, I'm screaming, this is a Nazi police state. And the other cop car pulls up. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what we need. 2 cop cars for a dirty license plate. There's no way
has Austin
that
Peterson
Has
Austin Peterson gotten in touch with you yet to tell you how bad you're hurting the movement?
No, why?
I mean, we can't be calling, you know, we can't be calling it how we see it. We can't be calling these things Nazis. They're heroes, Keith.
Oh yeah. Well, whoever that is, he's not a worry of mine. So I don't know who Austin Peterson is, and I could care less.
Good for you.
But I'm basically fed up with cops. I'm just fed up. I've been pulled over. They tried to frame me for having a fake registration. I took it to court a couple months ago by myself, and I won. I'm tired of it. They're going after me. So I'm fed up. I was not going to accept a ticket, a warning, nothing. So his sergeant, his boss, shows up, and he comes up and he plays Mr. Nice Cop. And he's like, your gas tank cap's open. I'm like, yeah, well, I just hit a pothole about 100 feet back when I pulled over here. You know,
potholes
you
are an epidemic in Pennsylvania across the board.
Yeah,
also,
dude, I just got a flat yesterday.
Shortage, so
I got
God bless all of you who are about to get a foot. Continue, Keith.
Yeah. So, he's playing Mr. Nice Cop because the other cop played Mr. Dumb Cop, and he's scared to come back to the vehicle. And
what made
so
you think he was playing?
Mr. Nice Cop. I'm like, look. He was like, look, we're just trying to get this, going here so you can be on your way. I'm like, well, this is a complete waste of my time. This is a waste of your time. There's drunk drivers out and about. Why aren't you driving around, pulling over people, swerving over on the other side of the road? Don't be bothering me. I'm minding my own business. There's dangerous criminals out there. Is there not a need for you to go look for dangerous criminals? So he's like, he completely agreed with me. He's like, yes, that's why we're going to get it moving. We're going to get going. I'm like, okay, hurry up now. Give me my paperwork. And so he leaves, and my son starts cracking up because he thinks it's hilarious. Because, he thought Daddy was going to go to jail, but Daddy's got a big set of balls, and he's walking. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm standing up for my right to be left alone. I live here in a supposedly free country. I should be able to be free from restriction and control, the exact definition of liberty. I don't need to be pulled over because I got dirt on my license plate.
Hey, man.
So he came
and
back
Keith, I had said in jest on Facebook, but it was kind of truthful as well. It is the end of the month when you got pulled over. and I mimed aloud whether or not maybe this was part of a quota fulfillment. And I also, I didn't know your history with your local police there. That's enlightening for what happened here. But then I shared some secret information with you that no one else knows. My personal text messages between me and my sheepish mother, who had been stopped earlier this week for random checkpoints at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday in Pennsylvania. And she had texted me the whole time, and I had told her, tell them, ask these cops if you are being detained, and if not, drive on your way. She said, no, I'm a good citizen. I'm complying. I'm giving them my paperwork. She said they're looking for drunk drivers at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday. But all they really took from her was proof of insurance, registration, and her license, which was to run to see if she had any outstanding debt with the Pennsylvania. I don't know if it was the Stadies, but I'm assuming it was. I don't think you were dealing with the Stadies, but Stadies seemed to be out of control in my area. And it just struck me as odd because it was the end of the month that they chose to pull this sort of Gestapo-esque tactics. And I don't know, do you think that played a role in anything? The end of the month quota for you, or you think it was purely they recognized your car?
I think they're purely looking out for me, and this.
Well, you've also got bumper stickers on there, right?
No, I don't. And I really believe ever since I left the Big Plantation, they've been on high alert for me because I've not had any tickets in years, and I've had 3 tickets in the past couple months. And I'm not putting up with it anymore. I'm just.
Well, plus, me and you were the Ron Paul renegades in the area, and we've had our run-ins from that whole thing.
I swear to God, the other day I went to get my haircut.
I got pulled over out in the middle of nowhere, up in the mountains, for a fake registration and fake tags, which said that it said that it was legitimate on my paperwork. I had good stickers. The state sent me this stuff. So it's just they are trying to intimidate me. And I'm not intimidatable.
Your Fuhrer is proud. Jamie Martin, about your haircut.
No, I got followed into I was going to get a haircut from one of my friends, and I got followed in by an undercover. I know he's undercover because he was a Crown Vic. Followed me around 2 turns, and I moved in and out of lanes. Followed me into the lanes. I pull into the shopping center and park all the way in the back of the parking lot. And this dude parks pretty much right next to me. Gives me a quick glance and starts, because he sees I'm fucking staring at him, grilling him at this point, wondering, what the fuck do you want, dude? And he runs straight up, goes all the way to a store on the other end of the lot. He just starts walking.
Gestapo tactics.
Yeah.
Now, Keith.
It is.
With what do you make of the response, on with the comments on Live Leak? Because to me, I'm shocked. I mean, I'm used to on YouTube, there's at least a mix of conversation where some people are critical of the police and some people are defending them. But on Live Leak, it's totally overwhelming, which to me says, guys, that we need to open up a Live Leak account and try and do dual uploads with our cop videos to kind of get it out there more. But what do you make of the response there, and have you heard about the newest leak from Snowden as given off by Glenn Greenwald?
I did not hear about the newest leak. My view is that they are all cops and cops' family members that are commenting there, because major cop websites are putting my video out as, oh, look at this punk kid trying to stand up for his rights. And here I am, a grown freaking man, standing up for my rights. Look how bad he is for his son, teaching his son how to stand up for himself against authority. I mean, that is
definitely a big component of the police state, is that not only are they there to generate profit as a corporation and enforce, they're not even there for your safety. I mean, that's a matter of court record, that they have no obligation to keep you safe. They're just there to enforce codes. But then what I was talking about with the Snowden leak is, I'll read you the headline here. This comes from Zero Hedge, but it's reposted all over the place. The conspiracy theory is true. Agents infiltrate websites intending to manipulate, deceive, and destroy reputations. And it goes on to show leaked slides from, and it's not the NSA, it's an NSA subgroup called the GCHQ from the UK. And basically, this whole thing goes on to describe how they do, in fact, do something that we have all suspected and called for a long time, but now we have tangible proof that they basically pose as real people and go online and sow discord and make up false claims. And there were certain things that I saw in the comments of Live Leak that are just totally off the wall that made me think of this. And then when I read that article, it made so much more sense. Like, I saw one guy on Live Leak that said, oh, he's got anger issues. I guarantee you he beats his wife and beats his kid and all this and stuff like this. And that's basically what this stuff says. I mean, in the slides here, it says that they will it's their job to make up false information to destroy the reputation of a target.
They have a chart that actually shows the stages of teaching whoever's why. It looks like a PowerPoint presentation that anyone who's being trained by Homeland Security, because that's how this trickle-down training system works.
Here's one right here. Identifying and exploiting fracture points, things that push a group together, shared opposition, shared ideology, and then there's an arrow pointing both ways that says tension, and on the other side, it's things that pull a group apart, personal power,
part of that. Listen, I want to interject here and go off topic a tiny bit, but part of that really made me realize and look at the Liberty Movement when we talk about things like beware of provocateurs, because that right there is the playbook of how to infiltrate any organic movement and distract it from its goals and cause infighting. That is the playbook for that Snowden released.
And top of the list on this particular slide right here is personal power, and I gotta agree with that a lot. But so, what do you make of that, Keith? Do you think it's do you think maybe that has something to do with the negative feedback on this video, or what else? I mean, because has this been put up on Cop Block yet?
Cop Block hasn't put it up. I'd like them to put it up. I'm sure. I know people have sent it to them. I know people sent it to InfoWars. It hasn't made the rounds there yet, and it's already viral. I really do believe the state is behind the massive amount of propaganda being pushed on those comments there. It's also on YouTube. It's not on Facebook. Everybody commenting on Facebook seems to be people that are upset at the police department for doing this. What it really comes down to is it's a Stasi tactic to make people feel like they're overwhelmingly there's an overwhelming force against them. So they want to think that they want me to think, and they want people that support me to think by looking at their comments and looking at stuff like that, thinking that they're outnumbered. Well, they're wrong. They are the ones that are outnumbered. Everybody I talk to is in the same shoes as I am. They're sick and tired of it. This is it. We are on the last straw here. What's going on up in Connecticut? They're arresting people right now. The first shots will be fired.
Keith, that's the next segment. There's
nothing can stop. There's nothing that can stop it. They are poking the bear. I am a bear in a cage right now, and I hold the key to freedom. If they want to damage my reputation, guess what? I'll do it right now. I was a thief. I've been a cheater in my life. I've lied. I was a horrible person, and I was a sinner. And guess what? I'm not that person anymore. What are you gonna do? You know what? You don't want to cross me. I fear no man but God. So come get some.
I want to thank you, Keith. I want to thank you for your passion and your integrity, and I agree with you. I want to ask that you stop spreading propaganda against me personally online and follow those same set of values.
Honestly, I think you should probably get a ticket for your dirty mouth.
Honestly, 100% with you, bro.
But I agree, and I've long held that sentiment, and I think that sentiment is definitely growing, and that's why you see more and more videos that you just didn't see before. Because I think the cop problem, I don't know if I would say it's growing as much as attention is being pulled to it is more than ever before. Now that everyone has a phone with a camera right there in their pocket, and I think it's. Like you had said earlier that the cop was surprised because you had your camera, and to me that is totally manufactured and part of the whole. You described as something psychological about us feeling overwhelmed, and I think this is a big part of it because they are very well briefed on the legality of filming and on all of this. In fact, remember that newspaper article that was in the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer? The headline was "Shooting Police."
Yep.
And it said, okay. And I talked to I know a cop who was out in Wisconsin, who I used to play Xbox with, and he became a cop. He's younger, and he told me that made the rounds over there. You know what I mean? So these stories, they get around in the department. They get briefed on these trends and stuff like that. So it's completely manufactured.
They are all on social medias now, 100%. Regional police, state police, they're all on there. They're open about it in my area. They're trying to promote it in the local newspaper. They're also getting heavily involved with trying to get snitch programs where people feel like the police locally are their friends, their buddies. Just feel free to hit us up. We're everyday people just like you. Very true with a lot of the regional police, but I'm watching that regional police be groomed now. That regional police is changing. Just like you said, you know that one cop in that area? I know a lot of the guys that became cops because we're the same age, and now they're cops, and I'm watching their demeanor change. I'm watching their standards change, and I'm watching it change directly to match the police, the state police, who have already been militarized for years now. And we actually have Homeland Security here in my area that are training. I've talked to friends of mine that are regional police and say, we are going through complete new training manuals. It is changing what it is to be a cop locally, what it is to be a cop at the state level. Everything has been changed, and it's all because of Homeland Security. There is a home force being created. As they cut military spending, quote unquote, overseas, that is all being spent here at home. And who is the enemy at that point? When you have this upkick in this much police activity, when Keith is getting pulled over because he's being spotted constantly, and now they get him because of his license plate, this is 100% harassment. When it's happening across the board, when an unprecedented number of people are being killed by police, when people are getting pulled over for no reason, incarcerated for no reason, why is it all happening at once?
Oh, yeah, and up until this stoppage that has landed me in court, Jamie can attest to it, I couldn't go more than 2 weeks without getting pulled over. And let me just go over some headlines here in the Big Plantation. The Rundown Live, our friends Kristan and Mike Pachensky over at the Rundown. Wisconsin State Police receive 160 M16 rifles. It's somewhere on here, but we got another one about all the decommissioned, what was it, like 14,000 decommissioned military vehicles being given out to local police departments across the entire country.
My local regional police, what
is the Pennsylvania?
That was given to them. That was given to them by Homeland Security. Listen, we're up against a break coming up. I want to give our guest a chance to speak a little more, and I'd like to power right through this break if our producer would let us. He won't let us. So, Keith, if you're willing to stay after the break, that'd be great. But go ahead. I'll give you the rest of the time. Go.
All right, well, the Pennsylvania State Police, their motto is soldiers of the law. What it is they're organizing to wage war against the people. This has been established since FDR declared the enemy of this state is the American people. So this is nothing new. And they're preparing against us. People need to wake up. They need to get in line with each other and stand up. Because, just like in Ukraine, the police are going to be bowing down on their knees before us, and they're going to be begging for forgiveness. And they will. And if they don't, they will pay, and justice will come by the end of a rope. And
Keith, what's your opinion on what's going on in Connecticut right now? We're going to talk about it a lot more in detail after the break, but what's your opinion on what's happening over there? Go ahead.
They're basically going to see what's going to be like for the whole country. They're trying to get on a small state scale because when they apply it to the other 50 states, it's going to be a lot more bloodier. But I don't think that once it happens there, it's going to trickle down to every state. A lot of people are going to be standing up. That's seeing that a lot of people aren't going to put up with it anymore.
Did you happen to see the chief of police over there who also appeared in the Sandy Hook movie that aired on everybody's television set? The chief of police saying, we're going to come door to door, take your weapons. Did you happen to see that?
I did not. I could not hear a word you said. It came in all
fine. It's for the best. You don't want to know about it because what it was the chief of police from Sandy Hook, from Newtown. Same guy, same asshole with the rain cap over top of his George the Curious Monkey's owner, the guy in the yellow hat. Same type hat, but he's got a rain guard on top of it. He stands there. He tells people, Gene Rosen is a hero and other Sandy Hook type nonsense propaganda. But Stay right there, Keith. If you don't mind waiting for the break, listen to some good commercials and some good music. We'll be back on the other side on Big Plantation on FBRN Radio. We got Keith Smith. It's his birthday. It's his 31st, not his 37th. Fuck what you heard. We'll be right back, though.
I wonder what it would be like if we were really free. I wonder what it would be like if you were like me.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Due to the recent revelations that in order to fight terrorism, the NSA has been using a secret court order to spy on every single Verizon and AT&T customer, Americans have become outraged and concerned about their rights to privacy. But along with that concern comes a feeling of hopelessness. I mean, what can we do? Vote in new leaders? Well, the problem is that during an election, each candidate pretends to not be an asshole. Then when they get the job, they reveal that they've actually been a complete asshole this entire time. No, elections are of no use. The only way to fight back against our country's excessive wiretapping and data mining is to make it irrelevant. That's why we're launching Operation Everyone Talk Like a Terrorist all the time. If we all openly discuss terrorist plots in each of our phone conversations, then eavesdropping on those phone conversations becomes pointless. It's simple. We just need to work it into our daily vernacular. For example, instead of saying, I love you, you could describe a terror attack. The larger the scale, the more you love the person.
Hi, Mom. I just got out of school. Can you pick me up?
I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm gonna use a truck bomb to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm mailing anthrax to Piers to Morgan.
Or, nonsense about God's will being great could mean affirmative.
Hey man, they have a 7:30 show, and do you think you can make it in time?
God is merciful and his love is unchanging. Did you already get me a ticket?
And those are just a few examples. You can make up your own. Have fun with it. But it's time for us to stand up and protect our rights. Because those assholes aren't going to.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Michael Scheuer, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Irene.
I'm Lisa.
My name is Tom. I'm a graphic designer,
college freshman,
stay-at-home mom with a full-time job,
scholar on social policy, and a barista.
And I'm just like you.
I'm an Obama supporter.
I support President Obama.
But the president needs your help.
Our president can't launch into another war without you. And remember, we promise to support him no matter what.
Together, we can do it.
That's why we here at the Americans for Whatever Barack Obama Wants, Did You Know He's Friends with Jay-Z, have launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund World War III.
And America is dead-ass broke. So our goal is to raise $1.6 trillion on behalf of the U.S. government.
That's where you come in.
Even a small donation would make all the difference.
When I first saw the president speak in 2008, in a YouTube clip posted to my Facebook page, I knew he was going to be right all the time. So I support World War III and IV and any moon war the president may want to start.
I mean, there is no way that he or the cabal of corporate interests, spy agencies, and shadow bankers that tell him what to do would ever mislead us. A $25 donation will get you a piece of rubble from a war-torn Middle Eastern country kissed by Senator Lindsey Graham.
A $100 donation gets you a day pass to leave your local refugee camp.
You'll probably end up in a refugee camp, but it'll have free Wi-Fi.
So please, help us reach our goal of $1.6 trillion so we can make World War III a reality. Why? Because Obama.
Because Obama.
At Domari Nolo Outfitters, we view the outdoors as our home, not a harsh wilderness. Our gear is chosen for adventure, not just in our backyard, but in the vast expanse of our amazing planet. Domari Nolo Outfitters carries the essential gear and tools you will need to live the empowering mindset of self-reliance. Our products are chosen especially for their durability and quality and are carefully tested by our staff and associates. Our promise to you is we never offer any item for sale we don't use ourselves, so we can offer only what we know to be the best. Our online store makes it simple to browse through our high-quality lines of clothing, knives, tools, load carry gear, and accessories. We are committed to offering you the best American-made equipment on the market, a promise you'll see as we continually add new products. For more information about our products and blog posts to help you learn more about self-reliance and equipment, please visit www.domarinolo.com. That's DOMARI-NOLO.com. Damari Nolo, chosen for survival and adventure.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
All right, thanks for sticking with us. We're in the second segment here on the Big Plantation. Going to give a quick plug. That's Moses Flows with his Project Corrected Axiom bringing us in there. And Moses has a large body of work. Some of it sounds very sublimish. Some of it is hip-hop. And he's re-released some old albums and released a previously unreleased album. So if you would like to support independent, conscious music as well as the alternative media at the same time, go to reverbnation.com/MosesFlows. That's all Z, MOZEZ, FLOWZ, and check out his album. Anyone who likes Jedi mind tricks or Immortal Technique or anything like that will certainly dig what he's got going on there. But before the break, we were talking about the Connecticut story, and we still got Keith on the line. You guys are all up to date with what's going on in Connecticut, right?
Oh yeah.
Basically, there was a seriously draconian bill passed. From what I gather, it sounds like the bill that was proposed nationally by Feinstein, where it just outright bans a bunch of guns, bans clips over 10 magazines over 10 rounds, and they didn't get approval from the Supreme Court. They just rammed it through, and now they're even using Orwellian doublespeak to change the name of certain guns to assault rifles, and they're trying to demonize, assault weapons and all this. And basically, 85% of the gun owners in the entire state refuse to register their guns as the law mandated. And the number, it's such a large number. They're talking 50 to 150,000 people that did not comply with the law. And basically, there's been letters sent out and saying that you need to turn your gun in, or you need to destroy your gun. The letter that has been sent out has been copied. It's been, it's all over the place. Here's, the Blaze has got it. I'll read the letter. It says, "Dear Sir and Madam," it says State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection up top. "Dear Sir and Madam, we are returning your application for assault weapon certificate and or large capacity magazine declaration because it was not received or postmarked prior to January 1st, 2004 as required by law. As a result, you have the following options for your assault weapon per Public Act 13-3 as amended by Public Act 13-220. 1. Render the assault weapon permanently inoperable. 2. Sell the assault weapon to a licensed gun dealer. 3. Remove the assault weapon from the state. Or 4. You may make arrangements to relinquish the assault weapon to a police department or the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. You have the following options for disposal of your large capacity magazine per Public Act 13-3 and is amended by Public Act 13-220. Render the large capacity magazine permanently inoperable. Sell it. Remove all your large capacity magazines from the state, or make arrangements to relinquish it to the Emergency Service and Public Protection Agency. Signed, Eric Kook." So that's pretty crazy. Serious. That's pretty serious, because basically they're being threatened with Hurricane Katrina style door-to-door gun confiscation, and I don't think it's unreasonable to believe that they're not going to be very nice about this. This isn't going to be a knock at the door and be like, "Hey, I heard you're a gun criminal, and I think you should give me your guns, please." This is going to be SWAT team. If they do this, if they actually follow through with this, it's going to be SWAT teams.
Yeah,
if they follow through with this and the people respond like they did in Boston after the Boston Marathon, then they'll be cheered in the streets.
Yeah, they will be cheered in the
streets. But there's a key difference between Boston and this. With Boston, there was an external threat, whether it was, as real as they wanted to think it was or not. We know that the official story is crap, but there was an external threat that scared people into loving the force of the state being used on them. This is just out and out the state doing it. Now, I don't know if
you're out of your fucking mind.
Well, do you really think that the emotionalism of Sandy Hook can carry so far as to comply with this?
Well, the thing that really blows my fucking mind is what they call this bill. The bill is called An Act Concerning Gun Violence Prevention and Children's Safety, also known as Public Law, whatever. Like, they name this thing the most disarming, like, unbelievably disarming bill ever, and what is actually in the content of the bill, and I think that reflects on why because there are a lot of people that voted yes on this that I think otherwise had probably read it, which I'm sure they don't, because most politicians don't read anything they're not, lobbied to read.
Oh God, one politician just actually cited on the floor, on television, I mean, it's a different topic, but just to go along with what you're saying, actually cited an Onion article about how 37 people overdosed on marijuana on the first day that it was legalized in Colorado. That actually
I'm so sick of
that
this
was
shit.
Actually a former police officer. That was not a Senate member. My recollection was that was like a chief of police somewhere. That cited that.
Either way, that's friggin' ridiculous. But Jamie, continue.
No, it's just unfucking believable because it's just the constant, the way that these bills get passed. They're just like a reasonable gun control restriction, and like that's the name of the bill. And I don't know, it's very draconian. It's very in like 1984 speak, and it's part of why this shit.
The whole
gets
fucking thing is over.
Well, I mean, there is activist groups down there who have put out open letters that they've sent. To try and have this reversed. I mean, one of them is calling to at least let it go to the Supreme Court before you try to enforce this. But on the other hand, he's also basically they're saying, come and take it.
Stripping the Fourth Amendment.
And the fact that 85% of the constituents did not deal with the law and give their guns up for registration is it should be telltale sign that it's not a valid law. You know what I mean?
How much truth is there to the Fourth Amendment being overturned this week by the Supreme Court? Did you read anything about that? I couldn't find it in any source that I would have been like, yes, this is definitely true.
Okay. The thing about that is that it was a decision, and courts often make decisions that are like contradictory to certain laws in certain instances. So in every instance, no, this is not going to fly. But now it has set a precedent that it can fly. Like, it is a possibility that your Fourth Amendment right will be violated. Yes, it will probably be overturned here and there, but like they're starting to make the leeway. It's the slow strides into it. But I don't think.
Are you telling me that that's true, Jamie? Jamie, that was a true fucking story? That wasn't an Onion story?
No, it was a real case from my understanding. Where it was just found that no, the cops had reasonable suspicion to do whatever, and a warrant would have prevented them from finding whatever evidence it was, so they backed them on it.
So this is true. So this precedent has been set now that if a cop can invade your home without a warrant if you're not present, but if there's more than one person present, if one person
let's be honest.
concedes,
I mean, what does a court case like that even matter? Because in effect, sure, there might not be a law or a case that says, oh, well, the Fourth Amendment has been repealed. But in effect, all of this stuff's gone anyway. I mean, that's been gone since the Patriot Act.
But to have the Supreme Court justices weigh in on it and say that, yes, a cop shouldn't waste time by going to a magistrate for a warrant, that's outrageous. That's
I would expect nothing less. I mean, we could... It's not even the first time. Look at Obamacare. You know what I mean? Obamacare should have been a 20-second conversation. Hey, Article 1, Section 8 doesn't have health care in there. We can't do it.
I'm not going to explain to you why health care and Fourth Amendment are not on the same bar.
Well, what I'm saying is that the precedent has already been set that these things are going to happen, and that's why it's time for everyone to take action. And I'm really curious to see what happens here in Connecticut, because that could be the new 1776.
I'm really hoping local militias from all around the state come by to demonstrate the day that they start raiding houses. I mean, people have the names and listings of all the politicians there, and I'm not calling for action, but I'm saying I'm not going to be disappointed if I see somebody get killed.
You did call for action on the Friday night.
No, you're not, because we're on radio and you're not allowed to do that, and you're not going to jail. So to recant that right now.
No. Listen, no. I am calling for action. I didn't say go kill anybody or go shoot anybody. But you have a right to peacefully assemble, and you have a right to keep and bear arms. We talk about open carry marches. We encourage open carry marches. Well, if they want to make a list to target people, and it's all, as Moses was saying, through Homeland Security, the same Homeland Security who is shooting paper targets with pregnant women, with little children with guns, old people sitting in their rocking chairs, the same Homeland Security that is buying billions of dollars in ammo, that I don't think it's too much to do to give them a non-violent show of we're not going to take this anymore.
Well, they got 50,000 people who haven't conformed to their draconian law in Connecticut. So they got a lot of work to do as a police force. A lot of houses to raid. Maybe they can use the Supreme Court's ruling to do so without a warrant. Maybe they can get 50,000 warrants based on people that didn't register their paperwork properly with the Gestapo.
Do we still have Keith here?
Yeah, we do. I've been wondering when we were going to go to him.
Hey, Keith, I want to throw to you real quick. Hey, educate me on Bitcoin, if you would.
Maybe he gave up.
Maybe he was going to pull it over.
Fuck! I wanted to really listen. I hate ADD in our conversation. We got a great conversation about the horribleness of our situation and them taking our weapons and killing us through their Homeland Security Gestapo forces. Great. Awesome. Sandy Hook was an inside job. Regardless, I want to know from Keith, if I were to advance my portfolio through Bitcoin right now, would his budding enterprise be one that I should consider? And if we can get Keith back on the line, producer, is that possible? All powerful, all great, all knowing.
I mean, he's probably just not there. He probably put his phone down or something.
Keith, if you're listening to this, hit me up with a private message. I'm looking to diversify with Bitcoin, bro. Even though I got reservations about Bitcoin, we could have discussed the philosophy.
You're gonna diversify your bonds. It's bond.
Son. It's me, Michael Heiss. What?
All right. Anyway, yeah. Why don't we move to we were going to talk about Ukraine. We still got that to get to, and
we got way too much Ukraine to talk, bro.
I know, man. Shit's getting out of control. And I mean, if you haven't heard, on Friday, the Russian Parliament had made they gave the go ahead to move troops into Ukraine on the basis of public safety. There's a lot. Something you have to understand about the multifacetedness of what's going on in Ukraine is okay, you want to talk about the overarching, well, people start wars and the wars are all controlled and whatnot, but I think we're seeing a real it's a wrench in the system of it. There are real people that are resisting to this and they don't want anything to do with it. And you look at what the U.S. is backing. The U.S. is backing the military dictatorship in the western half of Ukraine, while Russia's just trying to take over Crimea and they want to evacuate their citizens, because there's a lot of Russian people that live in Ukraine right now that have, I think it was over 120,000 in 2 days had filed for asylum in Russia to get the hell out before a hot war breaks out. And keep in mind, Russians got in there with no fight whatsoever. Not a shot was fired. People are handing them out sandwiches, taking pictures with the guards, because they were welcomed with open arms. I mean, the military straight up stood down. Most of them resigned. I mean, the Russians ordered a disarmament of the people in there, but I'm sure most of them are going to flip if this place ends up getting annexed and becoming a new part of a new age Russian USSR or whatever. And it very well might happen, because they're not backing down. And I don't think America is really going to push this. There's no way, without the backing of China and EU and the US in some sort of joint strike, that we could even handle fighting Russia right now. And I don't think that anybody wants to get to that point, because we haven't fully built up our military, bolstered it to the point that they want to. I mean, they've got a lot of goals set within the next 10 years that I think they want to hit first.
Jamie, do you remember our conversation on this subject about a couple of weeks ago? And you asked me, or you declared that the reason that they were uprising was because they wanted to be a part of the EU. Do you remember that?
To an extent, there are serious. There's clearly a core group of the resistance that wants the EU trade deal to go through, and they were sour about the Russian trade deal. But I'm honestly starting to chalk that up to a whole freaking State Department run thing. It seems
Absolutely,
that way.
Which is what I said. That was what I said on the subject. I said, don't believe what we're being fed through our media as to their reasons for taking to the streets. Now we've learned, we get a little bit more educated on the subject, which is by design, I mind you. Because it's on a 24-hour news cycle right now, and we're being updated constantly with what they want us to know. And now it is in our need to know that there is a civil war brewing, which is by design the same MO in every single destabilized location on the fucking face of the earth.
You're absolutely right, but this isn't even a civil war at this point. This is Russia.
No, but that's always the civil discourse is always used then to monopolize the situation. And Russia is monopolizing the situation by taking the east, the leaning towards Russian Crimea. Is that how we say it?
I believe it's
that
Crimea.
whole area. Those people ideologically and I bet probably culturally are way more in tune with Russia than the West. And the West is way more, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. It's very good. We love America.
You're right.
Kardashian.
You're right. Yeah, there is a large portion of Ukraine that still does favor Russia, but you do have to understand that the Ukrainian relationship with Russia is pretty sour for the most part. I mean, they kind of just repeatedly get screwed over and over and over again by Russia.
Now, if this was chess, Jamie, why is the Ukraine so pivotal?
Well, the Ukraine, situation? You have to understand, is the gateway to Europe. If you're going to talk on a strategic standpoint of where would be the best place to put up like missile defense systems that the U.S. and the UN and NATO were all talking about putting up in this area, I mean, I think that they needed more control. They fomented this revolution to an extent. They at least antagonized it, in the very least, antagonized the situation that was already going on to get people to resist, to cause this kind of turmoil. And I think the EU and the US thought they were literally just going to rush in and put military bases up in Ukraine to quote unquote, stabilize it like we do in every other freaking country around the world. I mean, what do we have? We have like 700 military bases in 163 nations. And
absolutely. And we always follow that same pattern, which is to cause a vacuum, and then we fill the vacuum.
Exactly.
To destabilize an area via some sort of cultural civil war. This was said by Joel Skolsa. What's his name? The dude from Alex Jones. What?
Skousen. Joel
Skousen.
I'm sorry. Same time, producers telling me that we need to pronounce Crimea with Crimea. So now I understand it. So it was blogging up my brain.
I don't speak Ukrainian,
see the same.
Man.
He said the same thing, though. That there are certain playbook that they're following with destabilizing all these different locations that our brave, valiant CIA goes and destabilizes for us to conquer and put in a puppet regime.
Ukraine is a very go back important and read the Grand Chessboard, because you had just referred to it as chess, and it's interesting because that's a book written by Zbigniew Brzezinski, and it's interesting because in his works he's pretty he pretty consistently talks about how we keep and maintain our power as the only world superpower against Russia. He pretty much points Russia out to be the biggest threat to that, and I think we're seeing that now.
I mean, China, they are because they're the
China and Russia being allies just so simply. And I'd love to ask our guest, because our guest is back. Keith, you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
You're coming in great. Go ahead, Keith. Keith, we're talking about Russia. We're talking about Ukraine. We're talking about the gateway to the east or the west, depending on which side you're
trying to talk while you guys are talking, and you guys couldn't hear me, so I tried calling back. But here I am. I'm on Skype. So, where were we? We were talking about I just got on here, so we were talking about
give us your thoughts on the Russia-Ukraine thing.
We'll go Russia and Ukraine first, because that's where we've moved to, Keith. We'll come back for that.
Well, the Russia-Ukraine thing, I think that this has something to do with pipelines once again and power distribution. I also think it has to do with what we did with Syria. Now Russia is seeing how far they can go before we do something to them. And the Chinese already knew about this, And last week, I noticed around Monday and Sunday that there was a massive purchase of Bitcoin going to China. And I saw it go up to 12. At one point, it was at 12,000 Bitcoins an hour going to China. And they were buying up Bitcoin, and we know that they have the reputation of buying up gold and silver, which is a good long-term investment, because they know something's going to end up coming at one point. Bitcoin's a quick way to do basically the same thing, to store wealth. And they can't order right now, and up like last week, it's going to take a couple weeks until they can get some silver and gold shipments in. So what wealth they had left in the yuan, they started dumping into the Bitcoin. And we're going to see a lot more of that going on this week, because this is going to escalate. There's no doubt about it.
Now, a lot of economists are saying that we might be on the brink of an economic disaster. If you believe like I do, which is that the entire economy is manufactured or manipulated and therefore not real, that would mean that they would only calculatedly allow the market to crash in my conspiracy world. But if you see things like China doing this, and you say, is that in response to what's happening with Ukraine, Keith? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I said a week ago, today and tomorrow, I came out and I was outspoken that something big was going to happen on March 2nd, March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And what we see is the invasion of Ukraine. I could see something was happening because I kept an eye on, the purchasing power of Bitcoin for the past couple of months, and who's buying Bitcoin where, and it went through. China always bought a lot of Bitcoin, but it was basically on par with the same amount of Bitcoin that the United States was buying. Now it completely eclipses the United States. And to take in, all the recent bankers committing suicide with the help of somebody pushing them off the top of a skyscraper, I think that something big, massive is about to happen.
I said March 8th. That's my date.
Look at the economics of things. It's an inevitability. Look at China. They've got whole cities the size of New York City that are empty. There are real estate bubbles about to collapse in China alone. We're in interesting times, my friends.
Absolutely. And now, Keith, you've bridged it perfectly for me to ask you, what are the benefits then to working inside an economy that is up on a house of cards via Bitcoin? And what do you make of the fact that the American government is coming out and miming aloud regulating Bitcoin, or basically shutting it down or commandeering it?
Well, whenever they come out and they say something like that, that basically gives us justification that Bitcoin is a good thing to use. Anything they don't like that goes against their way of thinking and may harm them is a benefit for us. So that proves right there, in my view, that I've got my head in the right place when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, the benefits of Bitcoin it's not centrally controlled. So if they were to outlaw Bitcoin, all I'm going to do is take Bitcoin off the internet, and I'm going to deal Bitcoin with person to person, peer to peer. And it's also going to establish that other altcoins will be programmed on the open source programming on Bitcoin. It's going to be programmed to allow for complete anonymous transactions. We don't have that quite yet. It's not anonymous. So when it becomes anonymous, then what are they going to do? They're not going to be able to do anything. So I don't.
Would it have to move to the dark web?
State as a threat for Bitcoin.
Keith, would Bitcoin have to be exclusively through the dark web, the internet that we dare not speak of?
If they outlaw it, yes, it would. But there's whole country. I'm trying to think of the country there's a country in Africa that is now. It's basically adopting Bitcoin. It's a whole country, and Iceland.
Yeah, Bitcoin's
have you guys
pretty
heard
systemic.
of the Aurora coin? The Aurora coin is going to be the Icelandic cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, the guy that started the Aurora coin is giving every Icelandic citizen a certain amount of Aurora coins to start off with. And they're going to be able to use these Aurora coins anywhere in the crypto world around the world because it converts to Bitcoin. So when it comes to Bitcoin, it's not. We like to think of ourselves as the United States, and we like to think of the dollar. Bitcoin's much bigger than that. It's a worldwide event. It allows all these competing alternative cryptocurrencies to compete with each other, and then in the free market, whichever ones survive are going to be the winners, and hopefully you're holding some of them. So,
well, Keith,
we're coming up against your investments. Don't invest anything that you're not willing to lose.
Keith, great news about the Bitcoin, and I will look into it. I'll be hitting you up with a private message so we can talk a little more. I want to diversify you via Bitcoin. We got to go against a break right now. You're listening to Big Plantation, FBR Radio. Mike Heist for president. Suck a dick otherwise.
Television to believe if they say it is true. Sacrifice liberty for freedom and security. Orwellian double speak.